Hi guys, here's Riccardo Fasoli from Kreativ Wedding. I'm a cinematographer based in Germany and I love color grading. I'm using Final Cut and till Color Finale 2 is out, it makes my life much more easier. So let's take a look how to correct some footage in a really fast way. So here we are in Final Cut, and here I have a different kind of footage from weddings. Everything it was shot in with the Sony Alpha 7S II, so everything in 8-bit. Some are in S-Log2, some are in Cine 4. My setting here on Final Cut it's to have the vectors open and the RGB parade open. This helped me to understand where the color are falling, and here I can understand how is the exposure and the white balance of the image. Okay, now let's try to correct in a different way, in some different way, but it's possible with Color Finale 2 that I'm using to correct a different kind of image and different kind of situation. So I select them all and I apply Color Finale 2 in all the clips. Okay, let's start with this clip. This was shot in S-Log2, and the fastest way to correct the image it's only with using the inspector here of Color Finale. What I'm doing mostly is to put away completely the saturation of the image, so don't be distracted about the colors, and then adjust the contrast. In this case I will go down a little bit with the exposure, add the contrast till the place that I like it. Normally I try to watch that here it's almost touching the zero, so I find it good here. And with the pivot, if I go on the left side, I put up the shadow, so I give a little bit, as you can see also here, I'm giving a little bit more space to the contrast on the shadow. And in this way I find that the contrast is on the right spot. After that I add again the saturation to the place where I find it correct, like this, and I find that the image is corrected. Let's try in another the same things. So same things here. I put away the saturation. I find that the position is perfect, so I add without touching the exposure, I add the contrast like before till that I'm almost touching the zero. Go a little bit with the pivot on the left side to get a little bit more details in the shadows, and then I re-add the saturation in the place where I want. For the white balance, it's enough to click in this dress in the dress, and the image is corrected. Other ways to correct the image. Let's take this footage, for example, here. Another way it's to going directly on the layers, and with the layers we can try to do the same things with the wheels. So with the wheels I put away the saturation. In this case I want to go with the lifter, so where the shadow, I go down almost to touch the zero. I bring a little bit down the highlight, and then the shadow till the place that I want to have it, like this, and then I put up the saturation, and this is a before and after, really fast. Another way, so let's take this footage. Another way, it's with the curves. So again, if I want to, I like to don't be distracted by the color, so I put away the saturation with the wheels. I go on the curve, and here we have different kind of curves. So we have the master and the luma. The master curve, when you're adding contrast, you move also the saturation of the colors. So you add also saturation to the colors when you use the master. When you use luma, it will be only the contrast. In this case, let's try only the luma curve. Again, I want to have the blacks almost touching the zero. The highlights, let's bring it a little bit up. Then I create a small S curve here. Like this. And after I re-put the saturation. So let's see the difference, luma curve, and if I add the master curve, as you can see, the saturation is bam, it's going really up. The luma in this case, in the correcting, to correct, I find it a little bit easier, but you can use them both, depend how much crazy you want to go with the saturation. In case you would use the master curve, it's enough to go a little bit down with the saturation here and you get the same result. Okay, these are the three ways that I use to correct the image with the contrast. Let's see some other situation to correct. So again, for correcting the fastest way, it's here. Everything is here. So saturation down, contrast. Before and after, white balance. We have in this case the dress. That's it. Let's see some challenging situation, that is this one. This is a little bit a challenging situation. Here we have the bride, but she is singing, but she has a yellow spotlight. So if I would correct it from like before, so again I put down a little bit this contrast. As you can see, the yellow, it's crazy. We can see also here on the vectors, the yellow, it's disturbing a lot. And if I try to correctly with the temperature, the yellow, it never goes away. Also, if I try here, for example, this is white. If I put it here, the colors become crazy because it's only a spotlight on the bride. Try to think also with the yellow, it didn't go away. So to correct these things, I go on the layer. It's the yellow that is becoming crazy, and the yellow is the color of the spotlight. The easiest way is to go on the vectors, select the yellow, put down the saturation. I adjust also a little bit the red. Like this. So this is a before and after. As you can see now the skin tone is correct, and now I can adjust the temperature to the spot that I like to have it. In this case, probably here. and this image is corrected. Let's see the last one, this drone shot. Exposure, contrast. I want to get a little bit back of the details here, so I put the pivot more on the left side. Saturation up, and I could change a little bit the white balance, the temperature a little bit on the warm side. And that's it. Really, really easy, really, really fast.